Hello everyone, this is Flatline, and today we're going to be doing a PvZ. Actually, hold on. Okay. We're going to be doing a PvZ. It's going to be the Immortal Sentry LN. I know I made a video a long time ago about it, but it's a little bit outdated now. So, there is a new version of it. It hits a lot quicker. A lot quicker. And you have the same basic core stuff. Mortal Sentries, you know. So anyways, just gonna open up with some kind of fast expand, like Nexus first or Forge fast expand, and this build's definitely something a lot of protos need to learn, even the masters, grandmasters, and I think anybody platinum and below should actually just do this build, cause yes, your late game is gonna be a little bit hurt. That's the only downside to it, but it really puts a lot of focus into your micro and force fielding sentries. So if you're really good with that, you get really good with that. And you're gonna start to see how you could do like a 4-gate Robo expand and deal with Roachling quite easily, because you're gonna have superior force fields than usual Protoss. So he's gonna open up pretty normal, doing the I believe that was 15 pull. If I see anything then that's not really late pull, that's not early pull, like 11 pull or anything like that, I'm gonna go Nexus first, and it's pretty safe going Nexus first. And I timed it out pretty well, so I'm pretty confident on what I'm doing. And you're just gonna have your probe over here just harassing, delaying. Not harassing, but kind of like giving him a hard time getting his expansion down there. But you do not want to lose this probe, because you need to scout if he's getting gas or anything like that. Another big thing to note is how many larvae is he actually using for his zerglings. So I saw one and then the other, so I know he's making 4 links, but the next 2 are pretty late, so I know he's not going to be doing any kind of like 4-link rush over here. So instead of sending this probe to this watchtower, I'm just going to send it to the 3rd, because I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to go. He's actually going to be going to the watchtower. Okay, there we go. He's sending those 2, so he's not going to be trying to rush over here. So I was in no rush getting this photon cannon. Back at my base, you do want to, just focus on chronoboosting probes. You want to get both of your simulators, 20 and 21 supply. Oh, by the way, this is 17 Nexus, if you go Nexus first. 9 Pylon, 17 Nexus, 17 Forge, 17 Pylon, 17 Gateway, 20 Assimilator, 21 Assimilator. Oh, and 18 Cannon. Wow, that's like all mixed up. But I'll write that down in the description, but sooner or later you're going to start to see I'm not going to put down the supplies because it's going to start to vary upon the players. But I'll put the order down on what you want to do, and all that kind of jazz. So you want to get start up your cyber as soon as possible. This is really important, so you can get your robotics as soon as possible, and start your stalker as well. Now this all-in does have some few risk, and the biggest risk is cutting the zealot. Because you're cutting the zealot, you're going to be able to afford a fast robotics, but at the same time you're going to be losing so much. Now see, this is a little blunder by me. Actually, you're not supposed to get this pylon, and so my robotics is going to be 10 seconds late. You actually want this robotics at 540, so I'll write down the correct build order, not the build order they did over here. Yeah, so you're delaying your +1, so you're going to be able to get the robotics a lot quicker. This all-in is only going to allow you to get +1 attack and not +1 armor, but it hits so much faster than the other one. Once you throw down the robotics, you still want to chronoboost probes until this is almost done. You need to make sure you at least have 25 energy on one of your nexus, once this is done, because you need to constantly chrono boost out immortals. This is where all your chrono boost is just going to be dedicated to. It's not going to be dedicated to anything else at all. So you're only going to be staying on 3 gas for quite a bit. You're going to get the second gas after your second immortal. In the meantime, you're just going to be chrono boosting out an immortal. Still making sentries as well. I'm going to add your extra gateways. These gateways are a little bit late. I'll put more on the correct way. This is not the best example. I didn't perform this the best, but this is like the only replay I really have of me doing it. I'm not really an all-in type person, but it's definitely something to keep up your sleeves for sure. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, my fellow Protoss players do have this build in their notebooks. So like I said, after the second immortal is out, should be making a third one and be getting this, sending guys into those gas. I actually have 4 and that's actually a blunder. To work this in. So you want to start moving out after your first warping of sentries to clear up the area. But you have to wait until this third immortal gets out for you to actually close this off and actually do something. So you see I already have the third immortal. After the third immortal, you actually want to get a warp prism. You want to get a warp prism and you actually skip the observer when you do this timing. And that's because the typical timing of a layer, as you can see right here, it's not going to happen for a very long time. So he's not going to be able to get burrow. So you don't really need the observer. And by the time they actually do get burrow, you should already done a lot of damage to their base, because it's just a huge investment. They're not going to be able to afford it while they're still making a lot of units. So he's doing engagements left and right. You also want to get up to 7 gateways. Forgot to make that into a chrono. Only 45 probes. 44 probes are mining, 1 probe to build the proxy pylons. So anytime a Zerg is engaging you like this, or like constantly, you just need to reinforce with more sentries. Just get more sentries with your army. You can see I'm making more sentries, and then move on. If he's not engaging you, like like this player is, then you just reinforce with stalkers and zealots. This is just to neutralize the amount of force fields that you've used earlier, and still have the same, about the same amount of force fields once you engage. It's the main thing. So he's gonna lose all of these. So he's trying to do it the best thing as possible. He's trying to kill off the pylons. That's not gonna be really successful. And he's losing a bunch of links. Now he's losing 2 roaches, and every single unit counts for Zerg. And he's trying to create this huge flank. This is really smart by him. My immortals are out of position, unfortunately. I'm gonna try to bring this back with my army. Pick up the immortals that are being targeted, so they don't get really hurt. I mean, they're still alive. You see how I pulled them all the way back behind my army. Really want to preserve the immortals as much as possible. Allow them to get their shield up so then they can have that bonus thing, the hardened shield. Units are going to only be able to do at most 10 damage. He's in his third, and pretty much this is going to be game. I already have a strong army composition. He barely doesn't have enough to hold this. He's trying to create a huge flank. It's really nice of him. I'm just going to cut off some of his units, trap some of his units, just for fun. But I have so many force fields still. My money's getting pretty high right now. Warping over here. There's a lot of discussion on where you should warp in, how you should warp in. Should you warp with the warp prism or not? And that's honestly a judgment call. I prefer to not warp in with it as much as possible when there's a possible engagement going on, because you want this to be in, not in face mode, so you can, you know, go over like to your immortal, pick it up, and then bring it onto the back. While it's in face mode, you can't do that. So I'm always tempted to not do that, but if I'm able to create force fields like this where I'm not worried for them to like focus fire any of my units, you could change it to a phase mode and warp in from here. So that's just my take on it. My minutes are pretty high, but anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video finally satisfied all you Protoss players, because I know the one I made was so late, so old that it doesn't really work anymore, especially in the high levels. So this is definitely something to check out now and update your Immortal Sentry build. It's definitely one of the best ones out there right now. Um, but yeah, so anyways, thanks guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And also leave comments and feedbacks in the comment section. Maybe you have another matchup that you need me to go over, or a certain build, or a certain composition, or against a certain did I already say build? Maybe a certain build that you want me to execute as well. Definitely hit that up because I just did this and I'm not really an all-in type of person, but yeah, it's definitely a strong all-in. And I know one of the comments prior to making this was, what happens if they get a Hydra then and they went Hydras? Well, if they went Hydras, if they're on 3 base, they should not have that many units at all. So you should be able to warp in some zealots to tank and damage, because zealots are not that bad with force fields to deal with the hydras. But the best answer, honestly, is just to get a robotics bay as soon as you see that, and just use force fields, not to engage into the army, but to disrupt this economy or put some pressure on the Zerg without overextending. That means don't get your units stuck where the hydras are actually dealing damage to your units, because gateway units honestly suck against hydras. So you just want to wait until you get some colossus out. You can turn it into an expand a macro game from here, because hydras are pretty bad once colossus are out, or high templars. They're really bad, and it's really hard for Zerg to engage into Protoss if you do have colossus until they get enough corruptors. But look at this, I already have, you'll have enough stalkers to deal with the corruptors, etc. With the force fields, you should be perfectly fine. But yeah, so anyways, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you later.